Batwoman has now returned after yet another hiatus break of like 2 weeks in between episodes. I really don't like these breaks, and I have to say that unfortunately I don't think it was really worth the wait, because this episode, episode 7 of the season, it's titled It's Best You Stop Digging, I just found it boring. Like, not much was really going on here that really got my attention. So I just wasn't into it that much. And it did really feel kind of like a filler episode, because, I mean, some important stuff did happen here, but not really anything big. And, you know, filler episodes is something that we should have come to expect with the Arrowverse at this point. We get them every season of every show. And usually I honestly enjoy the filler episodes. Like shows like The Flash. The Flash has some great filler episodes, like ones where we've had them battling King Shark and Gorilla Grodd. Like, those are some great filler episodes. But Batwoman, this episode just, I wasn't into it. So we're actually going to make it kind of a quick review here, because, again, not really too much went down in this episode, because the big struggle of this episode was Ryan, because she is in a lot of pain, and apparently now the kryptonite has now entered her brain, which is obviously not a good thing. We see the fallout of that in the episode overall. But first, let's talk about Jacob and Sophie, because they are looking into trying to find the painting, which was stolen by some bad guys last episode. And they identified that Dr. Rogers is the one that took the map. So they go investigating a little further, and they find Dr. Rogers and everybody else dead in their lab. It looks like they were having like a conference or like some sort of meeting, and they're all dead there. There's blood everywhere, and I have no idea what's going on here. I mean, they might have explained it. I might have missed it, but I am just so confused. Like, why are they all dead? Like, did they try out the Desert Rose or whatever on themselves? Did they experiment on themselves? I'm not sure, but it did not look pretty. It was very disgusting, but yeah. So then in this episode, Ryan, she has to deal with the trauma of having the kryptonite now in her brain. So she suits up as Batwoman, and she follows her heart, because the way Mary described it is like she doesn't have her brain, so now she just follows her heart. So she went to go see Angelique, but obviously dressed up as Batwoman, so it was kind of weird. But when she shows up, she sees that Angelique has already moved on. She's already with some new girl. So it's like, oh, wow, Angelique. That's kind of a jerk move, even though you don't know that that's actually Ryan. And then it turns out Angelique is kind of evil. She has some intel there, and then she, like, kicks Ryan out of the building. She falls on a car. Luke and Mary come to save her, so it's all good and everything. And that was cool. But that was pretty much it there with Ryan until the end of the episode, which we'll talk about after we get into the story of Alice, because where we left off with Alice, she fake killed Ocean, because that's what Sophia wants. She wants Ocean dead. So Tatiana comes to get Ocean's body, and then Alice knocks her out and then starts questioning her and everything, trying to find out what happened. And this is where we get some flashbacks to Alice coming to Coriana and Ocean actually training her, so that was pretty cool to see. And then we see, obviously, that Ocean and Alice fall in love, but then this is where the big reveal is. The problem with that is that Sophia is actually in love with Alice. And I thought it was an interesting twist. I mean, it felt kind of weird in the episode, but, you know, let's just go with it. And then Tatiana is jealous of Alice because she's in love with Sophia, and I don't know, it seems like some, like, soap opera type drama here, but, you know, we'll go with it. So Sophia basically got so jealous that she decided to wipe the memories of both Ocean and Alice, the memories of each other, and that also ended up wiping away basically most of Alice's humanity. So then after her memories were wiped, that's why she became the psycho Alice that we know her as, because she basically lost her humanity. So then that's kind of a bit of an origin of Alice becoming Alice. So that was a pretty cool, interesting thing to find out there. And then we flash back to present day, where Alice and Ocean actually part ways, which I was really disappointed by, because it was just a quick little scene where they're like, I'm going to head out, and then Ocean leaves. And I'm sad about that. I hope they reunite because I really love that relationship and I'd love to see them continue. But then Ryan shows up to confront Alice. There's this cool battle and everything. But then Ryan decides like, oh, I'm not going to kill you because if I do that, then, you know, I'll just be more like you. So she lets her go and everything, so that's cool. And then the episode ends with Alice going with Tatiana to go back to Coriana so that she can get her revenge on Sophia. And then basically the ending of the episode is just the Bat team reuniting, regrouping and everything, and just making their plan of like, all right, so we're going to follow Alice, we're going to go to Coriana, find Kate, and get that Desert Rose to cure Ryan. And that's where the episode ends. So again, I wasn't into it. I was bored for most of the episode, but some of the stuff that happened was pretty interesting. There was some cool stuff going on here, but it just wasn't enough to get me to keep my interest for this whole episode. So I don't know, but you're definitely going to have to let me know your thoughts on this in the comments below. Did you enjoy this episode? What were your thoughts on it? And if you have any theories for the rest of Batwoman Season 2. So, thanks so much for watching. Please drop a like if you enjoyed this video, and hit the subscribe button so I can keep you up to date on everything that goes on in the DC.